Hello there, it's Leah Butler-Smith here from Marketing Gene with a MobiLead method bonus and review. So you've probably heard of Trent Dismid. He is a really quite charming marketer. He's got a lovely soft-spoken voice. You can sense immediately whenever you hear him talking that there's a real honesty about him. But equally, having sort of been in this industry for quite some time and having read a lot of the emails and content that he's actually put out there, it's clear that he's also an incredible authority in this industry too. So it's he and Chris Munch who've put together this launch, the MobiLead method. So obviously Giovanna and I wanted to make sure that we, as usual, do justice to you by making sure we've checked it out and find out, first of all, what it is, who it's for, if it's going to be right for our customers, and, you know, let you know, basically, so you can have an opportunity to decide if that's the case or not. So called the MobiLead method, there's a suggestion, a hint, that's got something to do with mobile. And that's one of the reasons why I was inspired to start writing another blog post about things to do with mobile marketing, because it's something that is incredibly popular and is being heavily featured in our industry more and more. So there are marketers, people who we're fortunate to know quite well, who literally built their whole business around mobile, and they're not worried remotely about them needing to start adding anything to strings to their bow, because they are so busy focusing on the mobile market, because it is growing and it won't stop now. So there is, of course, an element of mobile in this product, and it really is about you being able to take advantage of it. How you can capture customers' attention so that you can build a profitable business. So who is Trent anyway? Well, there he is in the middle. This is where he was actually being given an award. He was once ranked as the top fastest growing business in Canada. He is a multi-millionaire business owner, and he is primarily an online marketer. He actually sold that business, the business mentioned there later, for $1.2 million. But obviously, like with most of us, it wasn't always that way. He didn't sort of wake up one morning and suddenly find heaps of cash in his pockets. He actually had to start out from the beginning and learned as he went along. And like most people in our business, what we're aiming to do is share with others the mistakes and the pitfalls so that they can be avoided, but also to share, importantly, the strategies that we've used for success, because modelling and the very nature of the psychology of modelling is such that if you know someone has already followed a series of steps, and that all that's required for you to become a success is to follow the same steps, then all you need to know is what those steps are, and the next step is to take them. So let's have a look at what he's actually covering. Well, it's what's really interesting, and what I really enjoyed about this actually, is whilst it's sold and presented as a sort of a PDF, an ebook to download, it's actually packed with videos. So within this PDF, the download, there are links that will take you to the related video, where he's actually going to then talk to you about what it is he's just been sharing in text format, which is great for people like me who love videos as a way of learning, and really, really helpful. Or you're actually in a seminar listening to someone else talking, and you will have to forgive me because I can tell that my voice is really going. But what's true is that the clever ideas are sometimes, as I say, incredibly simple. It's just something you hadn't thought of, or you hadn't thought of doing it that way before. And he's got some really cool ideas like that, which you'd expect given that he's a multimillionaire in our industry. He's got some super tips on how to present yourself as the business owner with the services that you're providing. Again, really, really simple, really, really easy, but great. He covers how to create a powerful sales story, which is effectively the what and the why, and he provides you with a downloadable sample. So the what and the why of what you're selling, how you're selling it, who you're selling it to, is what he covers in the powerful sales story element of the training. He talks about creating an effective buyer funnel, and that's what he describes as being the contact sequence. Now that is something, again, if you've never worked in sales before, which I have to say, I think most people who come into internet marketing have never had anything to do with selling before. But if you think about it for a moment, you've probably done some selling, even if you're just trying to sell yourself as a friend, in the playground when you're a kid, or, you're selling yourself as a possible, partner to the person that you find yourself with in life. Or, you might be selling yourself in a job interview. There's lots and lots of times when you have actually been involved in what we know as selling, that is presenting something or someone to another person and hoping that they're going to be really impressed and take some action as a response to that. So he covers what an effective buyer funnel is, and as I say, he goes into detail about what the contact sequence actually is, the one that works, which of course is important. That's what you want to know, is what works. Then he talks about what he calls the stadium pitch, which is again another what, why and how. It's all about delivering your message. All of these things, I'll tell you what I really got from this is all of these things combined to give you a lot more confidence when it comes to actually putting yourself out there as a service provider, as a business owner, and someone who's actually ready to start making some money. He talks about using webinars to position yourself. Now, Giovanna and I have been covering webinars lately because, of course, we've got these fabulous opportunities now with Google Hangouts, and Trent's got his way of looking at webinars and again, importantly, what that does to position you as somebody who's an authority in the niche you're choosing to work in. Then we talk about, he talks about how to qualify your prospects, which is a very important sales lesson. Again, some of the things he points out just hit you straight between the eyes. It's like, you really need to know that, because if you didn't know that, you might actually be one of those people who kind of makes those mistakes, and they are really awkward mistakes to make, but easy, as I say, if you don't really know what you're doing, or you didn't know what you were doing before you follow this fantastic training. Then he's covering all about how to follow up. How do you do your follow up? How do you stay in touch with your prospects? How do you come back to them without appearing, spammy or desperate in some way? Then he talks about how you actually go about delivering the service that obviously you've now sold to your prospects. And then he talks about outsourcing to leverage your time, which is one of my fave topics, but a very important one to get right. So what's your clever bonus? What have we come up with this time? Well, it was actually really, really easy to opt for something that Giovanna shared with me way before we ever went into partnership together. And actually, we were talking about putting this out as our first ever project. In fact, we've found ourselves dealing with more software than we have with training. But this strategy is the strategy she used to get herself through university. So you can imagine it's a fairly profitable one. And given that at the time she was a young person and it was very new to online marketing, it's clearly going to be something pretty simple. What her strategy, because I just love it, I love strategies anyway, but what it actually does is it gives you the opportunity to actually get your foot through the door, which as mentioned is really, really difficult for some people. But this strategy of Giovanna's gives you a sense of leverage, a really strong sense of leverage, that you've actually got something now that you can deliver that helps you to then reel your prospects in, bring them in closer to you, so you can start building a little bit of rapport with them on the level that they're at, where they're at with their business. You can build rapport on that level because you show them you've got an understanding about what that business actually is and what it needs. It's all about earning money, even if they choose not to employ your service. That's another just really simple, subtle, but incredibly clever element that's added into her strategy. It actually is delivered to you as video coaching with a downloadable PDF that includes a cheat sheet element. Now the cheat sheet element is a series of links that I talk about in the coaching, explaining what to do with them, why they're important, and how they're going to make your ability to use this particular strategy really easy. So all of that's been put together for you so that it complements the MobiLead method that you're getting from Trent. And because what we really want is for people to come back and say, I used that tip and I used that idea, and Trent's thing was great in helping me to do that. There's nothing better that product creators love to hear than what people have enjoyed, what they've benefited from, and what they've actually used in their own lives and in their own business to develop that success that you desire to be. So don't hesitate, just click on that button below and go and check out this fabulous new product. It's one of those that you're already fortunate to know that Trent is somebody who's very, very well thought of and trusted in our industry. So you've got none of those qualms, you know, no thoughts about who is he and what does he know anyway. If you didn't know who he was before today, I'm surprised. But he is very, very well known, and as I say, enormously respected in our industry. And the sales page will speak for itself, because you'll see, you know, what qualifies him to be able to teach you what he's going to share. So that's it. It's me, Leah Butler-Smith, signing off with the old voice that's starting to croak away, and look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.